So first we will do the revision of TCP. There are three types of TCP: indirect, snooping, and mobile TCP, right? We are having transmission control protocol TCP/IP model, which is having 5 layers: application, transport, internet, data link, and physical. So every layer are having various protocol, and every protocol are having different functionalities. Through the application layer, we can interact with the applications. Through the TCP transport layers, we can send the data from one machine to another machine, like sending the email. So TCP and UDP both are the transport layer protocols. UDP is connection less, TCP is connection oriented, which is responsible for delivering our data from one end to another end. I can say that again it is going to responsible for the flow control and the congestion control. Flow control means it is going to limit the data flow from one end to another end. Whatever data the receiver can receive, that much data transmitter has to transmit. Then it will going to remove the congestion control. Sometimes because of network stress, or too much sender is sending and receiver is not able to receive, and network is going to block. So that is the congestion control, and that is again solved by the TCP. Right, we have gone through all these things. So what is the exact, we can say, wireless scenario? Up till now, what we are doing, we are using TCP for the wired system, and that is the, we can say, fixed network. Wired system is having fixed network. I'm sitting at my computer at my particular place, my home, and I'm using internet and sending email to somebody else. But what happens now, we are using mobile, and through we are going somewhere through the car, talking with somebody, we are using internet, chatting, sending mails, sending photos, files, and we are traveling through that bus, or we can say car. So we need a TCP which supports such kind of mobility. It's kind of movement which is going to support, right? So the old software, whatever we are using with the particular stationary workstations or the computers, in that we have to do something modification, so it is going to support the mobility. So you can see here, we are having, as I told you, that the wireless network is not totally wireless. Up to the base station or the mobile tower you are having, up to that it is wired, and then from that tower to our mobile it is wireless, right? So we are having fixed host, wire network, base station, and the, we can say, mobile host, right? So from base station to this, it is wireless. Here it is wireless. Base station is your the tower of the mobile. That is the tower we are using for the mobile. So our computer, this is our fixed network, wired network, and from wired network is connected with that particular mobile tower, and from that mobile tower to our mobile device, it is wireless. Otherwise, this is the wired network. Okay. We have gone through the type of TCP, indirect TCP and snooping TCP, and today we will see mobile TCP. So what is the logic behind indirect TCP? I told you that we are having in between, we are having base station or the tower of that particular mobile. It is, we can say, known as a foreign agent, or we can say base station, right? So there are fixed network, and there are wired network and wireless network. It is going to divide into two parts. This part from fixed host to base station is a wired. This one is wired part. This one is the wireless part, right? Wireless part. So this is the in between. What it will do, whatever packets are coming from the fixed network, suppose this fixed network is sending some packet, that packet comes to this foreign agent, and foreign agent will send reply to our fixed host. Then what that particular foreign agent will do, he will transmit that packet to the mobile host, and acknowledgement, again that mobile host, foreign agent or base station will get that acknowledgement, and that acknowledgement will going to send, or we can say it is going to separate. Wired and wireless part both are going to separate. Everybody has to send everything to that particular base station or this foreign agent. agent, and foreign agent is responsible for getting and sending, right? So foreign agent is receiving packet from the fixed network and sending acknowledgement, yes, I received, and then it will going to send that packet to mobile host, and then again it will going to get the acknowledgement that mobile host has received that particular packet. So the foreign agent is responsible for sending and receiving acknowledgement and the packet. These two cannot communicate with each other directly. This fixed network cannot send packet to mobile host directly, and mobile host cannot send acknowledgement directly to this fixed network. In between, there is a foreign agent base station, or we can say access point, which is responsible for sending and receiving packets and we can say acknowledgement. So I told you last time also, whenever mobile network wants to send some packet, then it has to send to the foreign agent. Foreign agent will send acknowledgement. Then foreign agent has to send package to that particular, we can say, fixed network, and fixed network will send acknowledgement to the foreign agent. So what is the problem here? Foreign agent is the in between uh, between the wireless and the wired network. So if something will happen to that particular foreign agent, for example, foreign agent disconnect or lost or breaks because of some disaster happen, so whatever packet is coming to it, it is already acknowledged. So this network doesn't know whether this particular packet reached to that particular mobile device or no, not. So entire network will going to disturb, right? If this particular person has received that packet, but acknowledgement is sent to that particular foreign agent, but foreign agent doesn't have sent acknowledgement, and before sending acknowledgement, if breakdown will occur, so in that case, this particular fixed node is not aware that whether the packet is received by that mobile node or not. So everything is completely depend on this, we can say, foreign agent. So this is the disadvantage of our indirect TCP. The next is snooping TCP that we have already gone through in our last lecture. So what was the difference between the snooping and the indirect TCP? What indirect TCP was doing, it was separating out the wired and wireless part, right? Everything can be managed by this foreign agent. These two will not going to communicate with each other directly. The fixed network, fixed host, and the mobile host will not going to communicate with each other directly. They must have to first communicate with the foreign agent, and foreign agent will communicate with them, right? But here it is possible to communicate directly with each other. Mobile host can send the packet to that particular fixed network, and fixed network will send acknowledgement to the mobile network, and vice versa. They can communicate with each other. Now what is the role of this foreign agent? What that foreign agent is doing, as the name suggests, snooping. So it is going to snoop your packets. It will going to store your packets. No packet will goes without storing to that particular foreign agent or this base station. So all the packet base station is having. So as and when any kind of problem will occur, any kind of breakdown will occur, foreign agent wait for some time, and then he will feel that there is no packet received because no acknowledgement sent from that particular mobile host to that fixed host. Then it will going to resend that packet because it has already stored all the packets, buffered all the packets. So any kind of in between acknowledgement will not receive, or delay in acknowledgement, so it will going to retransmit the packet. You can see here, whenever our computer want to send, or we can say fixed network want to send packet to this mobile network, this packet is in between stored in, we can say, foreign agent will going to store it. Now our mobile network will going to acknowledge this fixed network. Now fixed network want to again transmit second packet to this mobile network, but this packet is not going to deliver, and before delivering there is some breakdown will occur. So foreign agent will not going to get acknowledgement from this mobile node. So what it will think that this packet is already, we can say, some problem will occur with this packet, and he has snooped that packet, stored that packet. So what it will do from that particular foreign agent side, foreign agent will retransmit that packet without asking to this fixed network. It is having that data, so it will going to retransmit, and mobile node will give the acknowledgement to that particular fixed network, right? So this is the way how snooping TCP is working. Now our next is mobile TCP. So how mobile TCP will going to work here? The foreign agent will known as a supervisory host. As the name suggests, supervisory host, it will going to supervise everything. It has to keep observation of what the things are going on. So whenever any packet this particular standard host want to transmit, this packet is going to supervised by the supervisory host, and this packet is delivered to this mobile host, right? So what happened if mobile host will not going to, we can say, acknowledge, it is going to divide into two part: optimized TCP and unmodified TCP, right? We are having two parts, and checking of acknowledgement can be done by this supervisory host. If this mobile host will going to be down, or there are some problem occur and mobile host will not going to send the acknowledgement to that particular standard host, or we can say fixed network, then what supervisory host will consider that there is some issue occur at the mobile host side. So it will inform this fixed network, or we can say standard host, that you have to reduce your window size by 0. This is, it is having one windows. Through that window the packets it is going to frequently send. But if the acknowledgement is not going to receive from this side, so what supervisory host will think, that there is some problem, there is some issue will occur, so it will tell that your window size you have to make 0. It means window size will become small, so packet transmission will going to reduce. It will not going to allow much packets, and sender will become slow in sending packets, because receiver is not receiving or not, that we don't know, because no acknowledgement is coming from that side. So if I'm telling the simple example of window size and all these things, suppose you are standing near the window of your home and the heavy rain is coming, right? But the window's position is like that rain is coming inside your house. You are closing the window, it means now raindrops or water drops are not coming inside your room, right? Same way sender is sending packets continuously, but receiver is not receiving, there is some problem will occur, so receiver is not sending acknowledgement to that particular supervisory host. So what supervisory host will do, it will tell that particular fixed network or sender to stop sending, or make your window size as a 0, so you are not able to send the packet frequently, or the packet sending will going to stop or become slow, right? So we can say that mobile TCP splits as ITCP, unmodified TCP, and the optimized TCP. There are two parts. Base station or the foreign agent will work as a supervisory host. As I told you, it will going to monitor all the packets. If disconnection is detected, I told you that there is no reply coming from this mobile host. So what it will do, it set advisory window to size 0. Sender automatically goes into the persistent mode. When window size will become 0, it means your sender will go into the persistent mode. That mode is known as a persistent mode, right? No caching, no retransmission at the base station. If a packet is lost on wireless link, it has to be retransmitted by the original sender. If the packet is lost in the wireless link, it has to be retransmitted by the original sender. It means supervisory host will not going to retransmit anything. Suppose the packet is lost in this wireless link, so this sender has to send it again, because supervisory host is just doing supervision, it is not buffering anything, or it is not even giving and sending acknowledgements. Okay, so supervisory host do not send acknowledgement to the fixed host unless the base station has received an acknowledgement from the mobile host. It maintains end-to-end semantics. When supervisory host does not receive acknowledgement for some time, it chokes sender by sending the advertise window to 0. When new acknowledgement is received with the receiver's advertisement window is equal to 0, the sender enters into the persistent mode. Sender does not send any data in persistent mode except when persistent timer goes off. So until it will not going to send the data, the timer goes off, or we can say window size will become 0 to 1. When positive window advertisement is received, sender exit the persistent mode and On exiting persistent mode, retransmission timeout and congestion window are same as before the persistent mode. So what I'm telling you, suppose I'm sending A to Z, right? A, B, C, D, E, and F. Up to F I have sent it properly, and after F, suppose I am getting window size 0 and sender has to go into that particular persistent mode. So whenever it come back, now window size will become 1, and now everything is okay. Mobile host is able to receive the packets, it is going acknowledgement. So again it will has to retransmit, but retransmission can be done from that particular next word. I have sent from up to F, though I don't have to send A, B, C, D, E, F again. I have to start from G to Z, right? So it will wake up from where it is going to stop. It doesn't mean that they have to retransmit everything. Those packet already reached, received, that I don't have to retransmit. I have to retransmit the new packets only. It maintains semantic, it supports disconnection, no buffer forwarding. These are the advantages, right? So there is no, we can say, overhead of buffering everything. Disconnection is also going to support, because once it is disconnected, window will become 0, and once it is connected, window size will become positive, and sending can be done in that particular sequence. So sequence and semantics are also going to maintain. So these are the advantages. Now what is the disadvantages? Supervisory host not act as a proxy. Packet loss in wireless link due to bit error is propagated to the sender. Requires modification in network element like the bandwidth manager. As I told you that the supervisory host is not a proxy, it is not going to store anything. So if the packet loss will occur, it doesn't mean that it is having packet and it will send it. The error will going to propagate to the sender. Yes, this is the packet, it is going to lost, window size is 0. Now when everything will become okay, you have to back up and send. So this error is going to propagate it. So what is the exact comparison I can say? What indirect TCP was doing, it is splitting our connection into two connections, right? So there is a wireless and wired part are different. So these are the, we can say, simple thing, and I can say that error is not going to propagate it. This is the disadvantage. Whatever problem with the wired network, that is not going to propagate to the wireless network, and whatever the problem occur in wireless network, that is not going to propagate into the wired network. So what is the disadvantage? Loss of TCP semantic, higher latency of handover. It is separate and everything is can be done by the supervisory host. So if the traffic is more, or we can say movement is more, then many number of handoff is required. Suppose I'm calling from the Ahmedabad and now I'm moving to Mehsana, now I'm moving to Goa, somewhere else. So every time my foreign agent will going to change, and the handoff will become much. Snooping TCP. It snoop the data and acknowledgement. Local retransmission is there. So this is the mechanism. I told you supervisory host will going to store everything. It is going to snoop the data, give the acknowledgement. Because of that, local retransmission can be done. If packet will lost, the snooping TCP or the supervisory host is having that packet, it can retransmit. So what is the advantage? Transparent end-to-end connection is there. MAC integration is possible. Now, what is the disadvantage? Problematic with the encryption, bad isolation of wireless link. It is going to store and snoop. So whenever encryption we require, the work will become, we can say, difficult. So this is the disadvantage. Mobile TCP, what is it is going to do? It is going to split the TCP connection, and it will going to chop the senders via the window size. What is the advantage? Maintains end-to-end semantics, handle the long-term and frequent disconnection. So if there is any disconnection will come, that is going to handle by the that particular supervisory host by making the window size 0. So bad isolation of wireless link, processing overhead due to the bandwidth management. So we can say something you have to retransmit again and again. So overhead will be there. Next is fast retransmission and fast, we can say, recovery. These are the, this come under the all this comparison. So changes of foreign agent often result in a fast packet loss. TCP reacts with the slow start algorithm. There is no congestion. Forced fast retransmission. As soon as the mobile host has registered with the new foreign agent, the mobile has sent the duplicate acknowledgement on a purpose. It forces the fast retransmission mode at the communication partner. Additionally, the TCP on the mobile host is forced to continue sending with the actual window size and do not go into the slow start after the registration. So advantages: simple change result into significant higher performance, and disadvantages: further mix of IP and TCP, so there is no transparent approach. Transmission and timeout freezing. Mobile host can be disconnected for a longer time. No packet exchange possible in tunnel. Disconnection due to the overhead cell with high priority traffic. TCP disconnect after the timeout completely. TCP freezing. MAC layer is often able to detect the interruption in advance. MAC can inform the TCP layer for upcoming loss of connection. TCP stops sending but does not assume the congested link. MAC layer signals again if reconnected. So this is the, we can say it is independent of the data. This is the advantage. And the disadvantage: TCP on mobile host has to be changed. It depends on the MAC layer. Now selective retransmission. TCP acknowledgement are often cumulative. Acknowledgement ACK on acknowledge is correct and in sequence receipt of the packet up to n. If single packet are missing, quite often a whole packet sequence beginning at the gap has to be retransmitted, go back n, thus wasting of bandwidth. Selective retransmission as one solution. RFC 2018 allows for the acknowledgement of a single packet, not only acknowledgement in sequence packet stream without the gap. Sender can now retransmit only the missing packet. So it is much higher efficiency. Disadvantage: more complex software in receiver, more buffer needed at the receiver side. Transaction oriented TCP. TCP phases: connection setup, data transmission, connection release using three-way handshake. Needs 3 packets for the setup and release respectively. So even short message need minimum 7 packets. So transaction oriented TCP, it is the version of, we can say, TCP. I mean, this is not actually that much important. Leave it. Okay, now comparison. So these are the different approaches of TCP: indirect, snooping, and mobile TCP. The another approach of TCP is fast retransmit and fast recovery, transmission and timeout freezing, selective retransmission, and the transaction oriented TCP. So these are the different types of TCP. So fast retransmit and fast recovery, what it will going to do? It will avoid the slow start after the roaming. Its advantage is simple and efficient. Disadvantage is mixed layer, not the transparent. Timeout freezing, it frees the TCP state at disconnect and resume after the connection. What are the advantage? It is independent of content of encryption, work as a longer interrupt. What are the disadvantage? Changes in a TCP, it required the MAC dependent. Selective retransmission, it retransmit only the lost data. It is very efficient but bit complex because you need a buffer for retransmission every time. Transaction oriented TCP, it will combine the connection setup, release and data transmission. It is efficient for certain application only. Changes in a TCP required, that is not a transparent. So these are the various, we can say, approaches of TCP, but mainly 3 important approaches are indirect, snooping, and mobile TCP. Okay, so in indirect, what you have to remember: wired and wireless both part are the different part, right? There is a supervisory host which is going to take the packets and send the acknowledgement at both the sides. Snooping TCP, there is supervisory host. As the name suggests, it is going to buffer or snoop your data. So whenever any packet loss will occur, that snooping TCP has to resend that packet, because that that supervisory host is storing the data, so that data it is having, so it can retransmit. And the mobile TCP, which is going to supervisory host will become here as a, we can say, it is going to supervise everything. So if there is problem will occur, sender is sending and sending, but receiver is not receiving. There is some problem at the receiver side. So it is using window concept. It will make window size as a 0. So sender has to stop the sending. It will go into the persistent mode until that particular window will become positive. Once window will become positive, it will come out from the persistent state, and again it is going to send the packets from where it has we can say stop that sending, right? So these are the three main type of TCP that you have to remember.